Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're going to be looking at what I really think is a groundbreaking app for at least people that live in New York. This is I'm going to call it the My ID app. If you can see, that is right here. It's funnily going to be called the Mid New York app because, I mean, why would you do that? But whatever. This is a very, very important app. And I have to say, it's because whether you have a driver's license or a state ID in the state of New York, you can scan that in there, you can authenticate yourself, and then your ID becomes something that lives within that app on your phone. Now, I'm a person who carries my wallet around just because I have my card. Sometimes I have like a gift card with me, but it's a lot of the point of it is because I have my ID there. And without needing that, I could use, and I use like a MagSafe wallet, and I can instead maybe put a battery pack on the back of that, or just not carry anything at all. Now, when I travel, you're going to need your ID. But if I'm going out to a restaurant, to a bar, to a nightclub, to whatever it is, and they need to see your ID, this should fill it out. So I'm not going to show you exactly mine here, but I have some few authentication points after a time. So normally when you log in the app, you can use Face ID if you have your iPhone. But then it does kind of time out everything where you have to enter a 6-digit PIN that you have created. And I created that, I entered it in. It seemed to have timed out after maybe about 5 minutes, so somebody can't just take the app and use it instead of you. But what comes up is kind of like a basic thing. And I want you guys to look at this app. If you guys want to use it or not, it's not up to me, it's up to you. Do what you feel is appropriate, but I think this is, a great idea for me at least, for me at the very least, because what I want to do is I'm going to test this out. Okay, so what comes up on the app is a little picture of your face with a blue circle, and it's actually not the photo that you use to authenticate yourself, because it's going to ask for your photo to authenticate your ID to that. The funny thing is that if you know, where is my ID? Oh, it's somewhere. If you know the New York State ID or New York driver's license has a black and white picture that is see-through. And what actually comes up on here is the colorized version, the original version of that picture. So it's sourcing it from the DMV and it's actually getting that appropriate picture. So it has your face with a little blue circle around it, and then it has a QR code that whomever can scan, if it's like the bouncer, if it's anybody here. And what I'm going to do is I want to actually figure out what comes up when I scan this, because I'm going to be pulling this up with my photo app. And again, I'm not going to be sharing this on camera just because, well, safety reasons. It says no usable data found. Okay, so I can't scan this with just my camera. You know how usually it recognizes a QR code. But again, I'm looking at this identification card only. Place this QR code in front of the reader. Whatever the reader is, I'm not really sure. The only thing I can think of is when you go to a bar, and actually when you go to Brooklyn Mirage, they scan the back of your ID, because a lot of the times they've kicked people out, they don't let them back in, maybe they've gotten a brand new ID, but it goes and shows like a flagging system that would say, hey, this is the ID, this is not. But what's going to be the problem, and probably for maybe a few of the smaller places, is the people who are not fully on board with this, or the people who don't have scanners. And I don't think any dive bar is ever going to have any kind of scanner. So this is going to be and it's a little bit interesting because I keep on trying to tap my app just to see what comes up, because if I'm trying to look at this as if I was a bouncer. And again, I wish I could show this to you, but I'd rather not, just for my own safety. But you guys know it's me. It's just really strange because it says non-driver ID, last updated on June 12th, 2024. And it says first name, last name, middle initial, suffix, nothing, issue date, expiration date, CID number, and class. What it doesn't show, and I mean, come on, we all know that I'm over 21, it doesn't say my date of birth. And this is actually like very basic information that you would want to show up on, let's say, the non-QR code version of this. I would want to see that this is definitely a New York ID. I mean, it's definitely a non-driver's license ID, but I would like to see which state it is for. I'd like to see my birthday. So you could be like, oh, yeah, he is over 21. Maybe he's like a really old looking 20-year-old. Like, who knows? And then also there are some places, Buffalo Wild Wings, for example. Anytime you get a drink, they are required, because they're on camera, hi Ninja, they're on camera, and they are required to ask for your ID. So if you share them, you know, the phone and this, what are they going to say? Are they going to be like, this is not exactly all that we need? This may be an issue. Hey Ninja, don't do that. Here. This is going to be a big learning curve, and I am going to be somebody who's going to be testing this out. I will try to record clips of it being done. I will try to record clips, and with their permission, of course, of the bouncers, of maybe the bartenders or the venue people, and maybe it'd be like a little bit of like an education event for them, but it's more like this will be like the major video, and then we'll go back and do like little shorts of, oh, I was rejected at so-and-so, or I got through here at so-and-so. So this is just going to be something that really is going to be big. Again, I'm traveling at the end of the month, and this is not going to work for that. So do not do that if you're traveling in between states. Also, if you are in a different state other than New York, check with them, check with that state. I know that there are other states that do it, but I don't believe another state, let's say Montana, would recognize this as a legitimate ID, maybe as a legitimate New York ID, but not something they could use. And again, the QR code is a big factor on this, and it does not show it. I just want to check one more time. All right, see, it's already asking me for my PIN again, which is good. I can also do it with my face. And I just want to go down. I want to be sure in this case. First name, last name, sex, middle name, suffix, issue date, expiration date, CID number, which would give you more information, again, if you know what you're looking for, and class, which is this is a non-driver's license ID. And again, I want to share. There's a little button there to share. Identification card, only info, place the QR code in front of the reader. And again, you know what's kind of weird? And you'll see it when you go in the app. There's a blue square around it. And whenever you tap it, you think, okay, that's going to give me something else. It doesn't give you anything else. And then also in the upper right-hand corner, there is kind of like this outline of a drawing of an ID. And you would think, okay, I click that and maybe it'll give me like my traditional ID so I can share it with them. Nowhere does it actually give you that. We're going to be running into problems here for sure. Oh, this is interesting. There's a scan feature. Scan the QR code on the website you want to sign into. I guess this is going to be complicated. I would guess, let's say you're going to maybe like a website that sells alcohol, and you would think, oh, how do I prove my age? And of course you can type in whatever age you want in those prompts, but maybe they'll be like, oh, you scan this code and you authenticate with that so that you're allowed into like, I don't know, SmirnoffIce.com or something like that. So there's scan, then there's an inbox, which my inbox is empty, I have no idea. There is more. You can update your PIN, you can use Face ID, help, learn more about New York Mobile ID. Oh, it's New York Mobile ID, I thought it was my ID. New York Mobile ID, or MID, frequently asked questions. Actually, we're going to look at that in a sec. Feedback about terms of use, privacy policy, accessibility, and unenroll this device. I'm curious because I have multiple devices. I'd like to know if I can have 2 devices enrolled. Probably they wouldn't want that, but that's something we'll try in another video. What we're going to do here is we're going to look at frequently asked questions. What is Mobile ID? Is it a valid form of identification? Mobile ID is a new form of digital identity that allows users to create a contactless, highly secure, state-approved personal credential that resides on their smartphone and can be used as a valid form of ID both in person and online. The authenticity of a mobile ID is ensured through verification with the state system of record, SOR, such as the Department of Motor Vehicles. How/where can I use my mobile ID? Mobile ID can be used anywhere it's accepted. In any context, a physical driver's license or state-issued ID would be used to verify age or identity, including at various airport security checkpoints throughout the U.S. The Transportation Security Administration, TSA, continues to integrate new technologies like the use of mobile IDs at checkpoints for TSA pre-check members. For more information on which locations accept mobile ID and how the TSA is moving forward with digital alternatives, visit blah blah blah, their website. Mobile ID can be used anywhere it's accepted. Okay? In any context, a physical driver's license or state ID would be used to verify age or identity. It does include various like airports and TSA and pre-check. It doesn't say, because like, come on guys, we really only care about, can we get into like a rated R movie? Can we buy alcohol at a restaurant or at a store? God, people's social lives are very sad. That's all we need it for. And I guess, for traveling, but there's gotta be more. Anyway, what are the benefits of Mobile ID? Mobile ID offers, it locked me out. Oh, it timed me out. That's interesting. All right, so you have to go back to the website. I'm gonna open this up on the browser so it doesn't log me out. It is pretty strict about, how long was that? Like 2 minutes maybe? What are the benefits of Mobile ID? Mobile ID offers citizens and parties a convenient, contactless, and highly secure method for verifying identity while protecting personal information and privacy. I really think the birth date should be one of those pieces that is just there in words. I understand protecting people's privacy, but that's something that we all flash our ID for every single day. Our address is also, that's an interesting thing. All right, before we look more at this, sometimes you have to verify your address in New York. And in this case, it's and the only time I've ever had to do it around here was there was police barricades for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And they would not let people in unless they were like a delivery driver and they were just going to like a place they deliver food to, or if they lived in the residence where it was being blocked. And I remember, hey, I live here and please let me around there. This does not show because the officers are not going to have a barcode reader. They're never all going to have it. Maybe they'll integrate on their phone, but I mean, if you're trying to do things like pretty quickly, hey, can you just scan this? Here's the ID with the information. That would be really quick. Done. Now you have to go and wait for them to scan it. I'm seeing this as not a real benefit. Anyway, Mobile ID puts users in control of what information they share. I don't know how to share any information. It's all up to the person who scans the QR code. For example, when making an age-restricted purchase, the users can prove their age without disclosing any unnecessary information like their address. Okay, that's good. Mobile ID also offers a high level of assurance for verifiers. By creating a direct line of communication with consumers, Mobile ID allows the DMV to push updates to information such as an address change or status update so verifiers can be confident the ID that they are accepting is authentic and up to date. How do I know the Mobile ID is secure? You can always look on the website and read this up. The website is na.idemia.com. But I'm going to read this out to you just in case you don't want to do this. How do I know the Mobile ID is secure? The Mobile ID app verifies your identity your identity attributes, and selfie photo against what is on file with the SRO. Only your Face ID, Touch ID, or 6-digit PIN will unlock the app and access the mobile ID. For example, if your smartphone is lost or stolen, no one will be able to access your mobile ID app. I guess if they don't have your code, well, they could still have your code. If you need to purchase or activate a different device, you can enroll for mobile ID on that device, which will make the previous version obsolete. So to be clear, my one phone has it on here right now. If I use another one for verification purposes, it won't show up. That means if your phone dies here, you don't have an ID to show. Think of that. What does the mobile ID app do with my data? Doesn't permanently collect. All right, let me read this out. I was about to skim through this. Mobile ID doesn't permanently collect, store, or hold on to your personal data except an encrypted version of your driver's license number and phone number to use as a record locator. The only places your complete information is stored are on your phone and with the state system of record. Can I use my mobile ID when a police officer asks for my license or ID? Drivers still need to carry their physical driver's license with them at all times to show during interactions with law enforcement. Soon, technology will be available for law enforcement to request permission to access your digital driver's license from a dedicated law enforcement device. Okay, this is what we're talking about. It's not there yet, but it will be. Your data will be securely transferred, and the officer will view your license on their own device. What happens if my smartphone is lost or stolen? If your smartphone is lost or stolen, no one will be able to access your mobile ID. The use of a real-time selfie and your Touch ID or Face ID is the only way you can access the app. Could someone use a photo to access my mobile ID? No, because Apple just has that on a different level here. Otherwise, if you're on an Android, it's that 6-digit PIN. We're going to go over a few of these because there's a lot of these. Does my mobile ID replace my physical driver's license? Once adopted by a state, the mobile ID is considered an official state-issued ID, but it currently serves as your companion to your physical ID rather than a replacement. So just think of that. How much does mobile ID cost? It depends on how your state decides to implement the program, but in many cases, this is a free app. Why would it ever cost anything? If you ever think to charge for something like this, just don't even think about that. Why should my business accept mobile ID? How can I ensure we are conducting secure transactions? Now, I think this is like the major piece. This is also the longest. And I'm just trying to look at the rest of this. A lot of this is just, oh, who made the app? How did they do it? Blah, blah, blah. So this is going to be the last piece of like relevant information. Why should my business accept mobile ID? Mobile ID offers greater security, privacy, and convenience than a physical ID. It is a digital version of a person's official state-issued driver's license that is securely stored on only on a user's smartphone device. Setting up a mobile ID requires a physical driver's license or ID card and compares a user's data with a selfie image one-to-one to their official driver record at the DMV. Building on that powerful in-person identity vetting process and the increasing trust in digital credentials as an authoritative, and it's really hard for me to talk today, an authoritative root identity record. Additionally, the mobile ID is locked behind the Face ID, Touch ID, whatever. Unlike the wallet, which is lost or stolen, it could be used by somebody else. So many services are reliant on confirming the identity and or the age of the customer. Mobile IDs can drive greater efficiency while unlocking new business models underpinned by the high trust transactions. Protect your business by minimizing the risks of accepting a fake or expired identification with mobile ID. I was like my ID or mid. So what I'm going to say is, me trying this out is going to cause issues at different places. The places where they really, really care. Dive bars, they may not. There's going to be a few strict places which are like, don't have don't have that physical ID, we can't work with you. What's this app? I've never heard of it. All right, just go to another bar. I may run into things like that, or I may run into places that just don't care. I'm trying not to call out those places, but this is more going to be like a series that's based on maybe, again, me educating some people like, oh, there's a new app. Hey, it doesn't work. Don't worry about it. We'll figure this out just because it's a brand new app and system to adopt. So I'm not looking to cause problems with all this, but just if you're doing the same thing too, I would say just bring, for a little while longer, bring the ID. But a lot of these times, and I think every time, I'm going to try this first and see if people can work with this first. Anyway, guys, I know this has been a long video. If you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment. It's been a long day. It's warm outside. Anything, comments, questions, put in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at m8b9, creative.ny, creative.reviews, and you can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. I think that's it. This is going to be interesting. I think for now I am still going to be bringing my wallet with me on the back of my phone, but it could be that I just don't need to do it. My credit cards, debit cards, and all that are on my Apple Wallet. I mean, like the Apple Wallet in the phone. And I think this is really going to be pushing any kind of store, restaurant, whatever, to work with contactless pay. I know that some cases it just doesn't work where they don't have contactless pay, or it's maybe in a place where a customer can't go. But I know, and again, this is going to be an issue with some people, I know that you can activate your wallet and then hand it over to have it tapped somewhere else. So that still could be something that works, but that means handing off your phone in that case, and that also means making sure that your battery is fully charged. Now, for me, I always have a backup device. But for you, maybe you only have, let's say, like a small phone, like an iPhone 13 mini, and that could be an issue of just running out of battery, showing this if you're somebody who's on the move to different locations a lot that require ID. This is interesting, but I definitely had to make a video about this. And yeah, anything, if you've tried it and it's failed, it's worked, put that in the comment section below. This is going to be really relevant for us New Yorkers. But thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.